Good morning, Metaverse. I'm Thor with the Red Hand, and this is going to be a bitch and moan video. So if you don't want to listen to me bitch and moan, then forward on to the next video, which I'm actually going to be doing some pack openings and some more fun stuff. But this I wanted to at least get out because there was a decent amount of sentiment in the community, people that I've talked to, my own personal thoughts in regards to how the crew pack airdrop went. I'll just cut to the chase. I was unimpressed, generally speaking. It was okay as a first experience, and then as I looked at things more and more, there were many things that I started nitpicking, but being able to pick out quite a few things that I would like to see changed and or should have been different. And if you can learn from this experience, then it's not a total waste of an experience. But I do think there was a decent amount of personal capital lost with community members, a good amount of community members that did not enjoy the experience compared to what they were expecting, and myself included. So let's jump into it. I'll point out a couple things and get this one done with. Okay, so the first thing that I wanted to get into was the release of the crew, and when you started opening up your crew packs, it was okay as far as opening it up. I've been through quite a few airdrops in the Web3 space, and I've experienced real dumpster fires, like the Vox drops for Gala Games were terrible, and it was just an absolute mess of people, failed transactions, and absolutely nobody came out of those scenarios happy. I've also the Illuvium land sale. It was a Dutch auction, and I think went extremely well. And the overall sentiment from that experience was very positive. And so, where I would put this crew pack drop for Star Atlas is really kind of in the middle. It was a C. I would have been the initial experience that I had was probably a C plus. It was a little bit late, but there was a lot of excitement. The community was really excited about it. I wasn't able to open the packs right away, but I had stayed up quite a long time, just kind of being there for the experience of it. And then when I was finally able to open up my packs, I had already watched one or two pack openings of other community members, and watching other people do that was generally fun to do. But then when I was opening it up, there were a few glitches with opening up the crew pack, and we'll jump over to the crew packs, and you have this whole layout, which I think was really, really cool. Details. You got a little bit of ambient music in the background, and you can see the different crew packs that you're going to pick up, and you see them down here on the image of the desk. So that was kind of a nice attention to detail that I am. I think of Star Atlas, and I think of the attention to detail and those high quality production. And then when you go in and you pick some crew packs to go into, the details as described were a little bit confusing, because you didn't want to click on this transfer crew directly to Sage. You did not want to do that because Sage wasn't ready to receive those crew pack members, those crew members. So if you sent them there, you wouldn't be able to view them and or get access to them in Sage. And so that was very confusing for someone that isn't in Discord listening to people. If you just started doing this, and oh yeah, I want to send it right to Sage, save some transaction fees, then you would have been screwed, and for a little bit of time until they get that fixed. So that wasn't a smooth launch from that perspective. And then the when you actually go to open a pack, right? Then you have this other question if you want to do this anyways. Again, trying almost sort of directing you to rethink going to Sage, which you absolutely didn't want to do. And so then you get this. The options were really cool. Being able to choose mud only, Oni only, or Ooster only packs to be opened, or a random assortment of all. And I think it would have been nice if you were able to select the ones, because maybe I just wanted Oni and Ooster and I didn't want mud. Or I wanted mud and not Oni. But that's just something that would have been a nice thing to have. But then what we found with mud is the mud characters weren't nearly as, I don't know if polished is the right word, but the artwork for the mud were without a doubt poorer than what we saw with Oni and the Oosters. Oosters are my faction, and so I was actually really happy with the artwork with that. I thought the Oni's artwork looked really cool. I did get, initially, I got the first crew I opened was a Mud character, because I did it randomly, and it opened a Mud, and it was just kind of blah. But they did go and change that and make that better, so I think that was a good thing. But we're bitching and moaning, so let's continue. So when you open this, here's a good example. I went to open it, and let me just check to make sure everything's solid from my side. All right, we'll get back to here. We'll just open the one. Open that. Yes, open it anyways. We'll just do random, and then we'll open a crew pack. And then you have this enlisting your crew, which waiting the full 4 minutes is a long time to wait. This actually didn't end up taking the full 4 minutes, all except one time that I opened up a series of crew. This process is just kind of okay. All right, so then you've got the animation of the crew pack opening, and we have the ability to open it. I watched a few people, I think Metaverse Explorer actually at one point hit skip to the end, and it just ran through all of them, and all the packs, and then the whole experience was gone. Right? I mean, the opening of the pack, you want to build excitement, and having that skip to the end, I would have, like, I don't know, a warning on it or something that you may not want to do this unless you're trying to just open a 1,000 crew and you really don't care about the experience. But for the people that like the experience, I know a few people that accidentally hit that, just kind of checking things out and didn't know what it was. Like there's no pop-up. I don't know. There's a little bit more detail that could have been done. Anyways, let's open up this one and experience what we got. All right, some cool ambient music, some explosion, and sparkling noise, and we got a mud. All right, so this guy's kind of cool, and this is the new art for the mud. Better backgrounds. You got haircuts changed, and you got some clothing updates and that type of thing. And so, for a common crew member, this is nice. All right, I can then inspect that card, and here's my thing with inspecting the card. Let me turn that music off. And so what you're left with over here, we got the aptitude, fitness, personality. You got openness, conscientiousness, extroversion, agreeableness, and neuroticism, and then where they went to study and how old they are. Okay, um, that's great. One thing that is very much lacking in this is the details, the definition of these terms. There is so much lack of understanding of what these things mean. Now, the personality, I recognize these right away because I've taken personality tests before. And when you're looking for employees and trying to put people in the right positions in a company, personality test is a classic tool. And these are the 5 big personality traits that are used in that world, in the world of building businesses and hiring people. That's used all the time. So if you're familiar with that, then you'll know a little bit more about what these different things, agreeableness, neuroticism, what that all will mean for your character. But if you're not familiar with that stuff, you have no idea, and there's no information that pops up when you put your cursor over these attributes and personality, which in a typical game I would expect it to say, the bonuses, the boosts that this causes, or if it's a buff or a debuff. I don't know, and that's my next video that I'm going to do is actually trying to explain this whole personality aspect of it, so we can start to have an idea of what your character is. Because if you're looking at this, this could be a good common card, or it could be a horrible common card, and I'm just guessing at this point. But there's a lot of work to be done in order to be able to view this and see whether you got a good pull. Right? I mean, if you're opening up 1,000 packs, you're not going to care about this guy. But if you got a one ship and you've got one crew member, this stuff matters to the little guy, to the small player or the new player. This stuff matters, and there's just very little detail brought to that. And I was disappointed with that, because the detail and getting in depth with the economy, Star Atlas has been phenomenal with. I would like to see them take that same approach and attention to detail to the characters. Now, the other thing that is specifically lacking that I was disappointed in was, where's their backstory? The backstory, the unique backstory for each character. Every one of the 7.5 million characters put out there is going to have their own unique backstory. I know that that's going to be something that's added, but for your initial release, for me, that was the biggest part, was finding out the backstory of all my new crew members and being able to start building a storyline for the game that I want to play, because the story is what brings depth to the game, and it's not here. It will be. I understand that now, but that wasn't conveyed very well to the community. I don't catch all the messages that are sent out, but I mean, I stay pretty up to date with what's going on in Star Atlas, and I missed that one. There wasn't going to be the backstories when you open your crew pack to start out with. That is a missed opportunity. Look, if you're going to give us, it'll be ready in 4 to 6 weeks, and you put this out in 4 weeks, you should have put this out in 6 weeks and put all the rest of it together. It's not finished. It's not finished, and we know that because a week later you get the changes to the things that should have been done beforehand. If whoever said, yeah, it's ready to go, how much testing did you do? Did you you bring anybody in from the community to take a look at it and give you yeah, that stuff looks great, or no, you're not done yet? Like maybe there should be a little bit more of that, specifically with the crew launch and I don't know what else going forward. This is aesthetic things you need the average person's perspective on it, and it just doesn't look like that was done in this one. That it was launched before it was actually ready, and there were still pieces that need to be put together. I'm not sure what the internal timelines and deadlines are for the project, so I can't speak specifically to it, but I can tell you what the result is, and it wasn't a finished product. It missed out on a lot of impact that it could have had, and I think it actually cost a decent amount of the project's personal capital from the community. I think their response to the failings of it of the initial launch have been decent, pretty good. There's just some things that don't have good answers and some things you can't undo. Then let's go to the one that's actually been talked about quite a lot, and I don't need to go into it too much, but that is the changed artwork. This guy actually looks really cool. His face scars and some small augments. That's kind of cool. All right, so here on my crew card page, first off, I mean, you can zoom this in and out and get a better view, but down here, if you have it at a view where you can actually see where your characters are, you've got one card and then a half one cut off, and you can zoom it out so that you can have two full cards. But then from looking at this from the computer screen, it's actually pretty small, and it's hard to. I've got 20/20 vision, and it's hard for me to read the names. So, this is the view that I would have to do to enable to actually read the names and know what character I'm going and clicking on, right? And then the big picture, the overview picture of it, I know you can go in and view your card, but this is cut off at the waist. You're showing half of the picture. And over on the right or over on the left, you've got tons of wasted space, wasted screen space, that all of these cards that are down at the bottom could be set up over on the right or left side, two rows or two columns, and as many rows as you need for all your crew members, and you could scroll down the side like that. That would be a far better layout. It's nitpicky, but hey, I'm bitching and moaning. And then I can't see my crew member from this perspective. I have to click on my crew card and go into it. Now I see the full body of my character. And then you have the information here on the side, the way it should be, the way it is on so many other games that are successful and are good games. One reason they're good games is the way that they're laid out is well thought through. So that's a miss, a small miss, but still, it would be nice to optimize that. And then you have this episode 1 and then episode 0. This was my episode 0 guy. That is a cool headgear. Probably is from his teenage years. He's still working on his orthodontics with his headgear and his retainer. And I'm sure he wants to take that off as much as anybody. But this is just that's a downgrade. And yes, you messed up at the beginning with your algorithm. The algorithm was wrong. You could have tested that and figured it out. It was obvious to you when you launched it, and that was stated, and it was obvious to everybody else that there were too many rare and legendary items and backgrounds on common characters. Like, how did that happen? Well, I mean, do a test launch before you do the frickin' launch and look for those things. If it's so obvious when you actually launch, then somebody missed something big. Now, spilt milk. You can't do anything about it. You got to do a fix. Okay. You do this episode 0, episode 1. I think that's probably the best way you could have done it, making the best of a crappy situation. But then the psychology of this is you've downgraded my characters. Do do do. It was a good experience, and now it's not as good. And you know, to downgrade the common characters with new, less exciting art, less colorful, less neat headgear, or however you want to see it, changing colors up. It's concept art. I understand that, which we'll get into another point quickly. But this, I just think it was done in a poor way, and it was just done. Like there wasn't a whole lot of announcements about this happening or why it was happening. It was just, hey, it's for the health of the project, and all of a sudden we've changed your NFT, which, like, NFTs are not supposed to be able to change your NFTs. Okay, this is a little bit different. Was that explained? No. No, it wasn't. In fact, the first thing that really set me off, and I don't get upset about this kind of stuff, but what really set me off was I thought I had an NFT here, and you just changed it all. Like, that's not an NFT. That's not an asset that is mine. That's an asset that I'm holding and have paid for, and that you can change whenever you want. Well, what if you want to take my visor away? My brand new Cyclops visor that what if you just decide you want to take that away? Okay, well, now this is my Punab without a visor. It's stupid. It's stupid to think about it that way. You can change the color of my Punabs, or any of my other characters. That definitely doesn't feel. It feels like a violation. That's what it felt like. It felt like a violation of my property. And you can explain to me why you needed to do it for the health of the project, and I agree with that. I do. In fact, I would have said, you know what? You're right. Change it. But that conversation was never had. Or at least it wasn't put out there in a very good way that disseminated to the likes of myself. It just happened from my perspective. And I could have been just ignorant and not paying attention, and maybe you were really open about this stuff, but I've also heard that same complaint from a lot of other people. So maybe you didn't do such a good job, and you should definitely rethink how you do that in the future, because
you done messed up, Aaron.
So that's my bitch and moaning. These are really cool though. I really like the artwork itself. There are a lot of different styles of clothing and headgear of different types. I would like to see more lore brought out and explain how these things work. So here's another thing: is you have different customs of our characters. So you have Mithra, this symbol, Busan. Okay, now I at least know a little bit about how the names are picked, and about the punabs and the vowels, and the three different names of a Maurice, and that first name is a secret name. The second name is the name that everybody knows them by, right? Because I've listened to Lore Keepers that Jose puts on, and I've listened through those podcasts, so I'm aware of that. But there was not a whole lot of material, even for somebody that really wants to get to know the lore. There wasn't a whole lot of material to really dive into or explain these things. Like I still don't know what this middle symbol is. Where's the key or the legend to be able to know, is that the house? Is that the house that they're a part of? Is that's a symbol of their house? And what are the houses of the Maries? Or the Sogmian? I mean, I know that that's a big thing, but I don't know the details of it. There's no easy way to go through and look at it. I mean, heck, when Game of Thrones came out, it was a week before you had a whole chart of all the different houses and what their freaking phrases were, of characters that weren't even in the book. There was a lot of backstory material that allows the player to really dive deep into and immerse themselves in this whole experience. This guy looks cool. This guy looks cool. Let's see what episode 0 was. Download it. Come on. Come on. Come on. I would have loved to show you what episode 0 looked like, but apparently this guy is completely translucent. So maybe I did benefit from a change. I wouldn't even know I had that guy. He looks cool. I think the oosters are awesome. This is a cool head. Then on Tensor you get all the different rarities of the body types and stuff. Why don't we have that here? That's not hard. Put that on your crew card. It should have all the information that you can have about a card. You should have too much information about your character. Like, feed us more data. Know who your clientele is. Give me more information. I want to dive into this stuff. I want to get excited about it and look at numbers. I want to make a spreadsheet. I can't make a spreadsheet on this. I can't even define the terms of the numbers that you actually did give me, and there are a bunch of rarities of the body parts that I don't know until I go on Tensor, which is a different site. Which I'm glad that you're working with them, and it is actually really cool. I'm not going to go into that right now, but like have the information all the information you can about this creature on all this wasted space, wasted screen space. Real estate. Use your real estate. A little bit frustrated still. Got to work this out. Thank you for watching this video, if you still are, and letting me vent. This is very therapeutic. I'm feeling so much better right now. And I think now that my crew member has left, Maurice. Oh, okay. Yeah, so I kind of got screwed on that. That was a cool hat. But, the outfit is neat. That's actually, that's a cool black and red leather outfit. I might see if I can get one of those made for my wife. That's cool. Yeah. I mean, I'd be fine with that. If you just told me. If you just gave a little bit of heads up. Hey, we're gonna have to do this. It may look worse. Little community vote on X. Just make me feel like I had a say in it. Would have made things better. Just would have. It may not mean jack, but it would have been better. This guy's cool. This guy's really cool. I'm happy with him. All right. Okay, so that is my bitch and moaning. That's all the negative that I have to say about it. Which I think I picked at pretty much each piece of the crew pack launch experience. I know there are some people, several people, I would say, that are really bummed about the change in the artwork. It might have to have been done. It could have been done better. If if it's not a fully finished product, dude, wait 4 to 6 weeks. Wait the full 6 weeks and and get it done. Um, I will defend that kind of decision each and every time, but rushing something to be launched, even even if it's a deadline thing, if you put out a product that just isn't finished or wasn't attention was not paid, then man, that's the wrong move. That's the wrong move. This is the first time I think that Star Atlas has made a bad call. Keep that in mind. I honestly don't think Star Atlas has made a straight up wrong call their entire development. So that is a huge uh, kudos to them as a project. But this one, the launch of the crew characters without the backstories, um, with the algorithm not being close to acceptable and then having to be changed, that you're setting yourself up for failure when you do those kind of things. And it just feels like corners were cut or attention wasn't paid. So, anyways, don't worry about liking and subscribing. Share it with somebody who needs to bitch and moan. You can imagine I was listening to you and agreeing with you the whole time. And if you can do that, then today was still a good day. Good morning, Metaverse.